Most people are building wealth backwards, and the data from 2025 proves it. While you're scrolling through startup stories and side hustle TikToks, 47% of actual millionaires are getting rich from businesses so boring they don't even make headlines. These aren't unicorn IPOs or viral product launches. They're the laundromats you drive past without noticing, the vending machines you ignore in office lobbies, the storage units you never think about until you need one. And they're quietly producing more millionaires than every tech accelerator combined, with success rates that would make venture capitalists weep. The research that exposed this started with a simple question that most wealth studies get wrong. Thomas Stanley and William Danko wanted to know who America's real millionaires were, not the ones on TV or the inherited wealth crowd. They spent years surveying the quietly wealthy, the people driving 10-year-old cars but owning seven-figure balance sheets. What they found shocked the financial world and created a blueprint that most people still ignore 2 decades later. 2/3 of millionaires were self-employed, but they weren't running flashy companies or innovative tech firms. They owned what the researchers called dull, normal businesses. Repair shops, small factories, local services people use again and again. The kind of businesses that make money while their owners sleep, not while they're grinding 80-hour weeks. Harry discovered this research at 32, sitting on a late bus with $863 in his savings account and a paid-off hatchback that represented most of his net worth. He'd already failed at dropshipping, crypto, and a clothing brand that left him with 3 boxes of unsold hoodies in his hallway. Each venture had the same pattern: big hype, complicated funnels, zero predictable cash flow, and eventual failure. The Millionaire Next Door hit him like a brick through a window. Here was peer-reviewed data proving that the path to wealth wasn't clever ideas or perfect timing. It was boring ownership of necessary services that people couldn't live without. The first cash machine Harry found was a laundromat 15 minutes from his apartment in a dense urban rental corridor. The owner was late 50s, tired, ready to retire, and emotionally done with the business. The numbers didn't look sexy on paper. Revenue was steady, but stuck in 1999 with outdated machines and no digital payment systems. Sticker price, $198,000. Net income, $4,200 monthly after all expenses. Harry didn't have that kind of cash, so he used the boring millionaire playbook that most people don't know exists. He scraped together $27,000 from selling his car and a small credit line. The owner agreed to finance the rest over 7 years if Harry took over fast and kept the existing part-time attendant. Month 1 as owner brought home exactly $1,317. Not life-changing money, but it was cash that didn't require him to clock more hours at his logistics job. More importantly, it proved the model worked. By month 6, after adding card readers, raising prices by 23 cents per wash, and introducing a simple monthly family wash pass, cash flow hit $2,189. By month 12, after optimizing the attendance schedule and negotiating a better soap supplier deal, it cleared $2,800 monthly. The laundromat industry maintains a 94.8 to 95% success rate over 5 years, nearly double the average small business survival rate. While trendy startups were dying at a 65% clip within a decade, these machines kept spinning and generating cash through recessions, pandemics, and market crashes. Dave Menz, known as the laundromat millionaire, followed an identical path. He bought his first laundromat off Craigslist for $10,000 down on a $100,000 purchase, working corporate days and running the business nights and weekends. Within 18 months, he grew revenue to $300,000 annually, netting nearly $100,000 yearly. Today, he owns 4 laundromats, earns $1.8 million annually, and has a net worth over $3.8 million. His secret wasn't brilliant marketing. It was showing up, tracking every quarter, and making incremental improvements that compounded. While upgrading payment systems in his laundromat, Harry kept noticing something that would change his entire strategy. Every time he refilled the little snack machine near the door, the same chips and drinks moved first. He could see grab-and-go habits in real time, watching customers insert dollar after dollar while waiting for their laundry cycles. The laundromat wasn't just a laundry business. It was a captive audience business with built-in dwell time. So he bought his first proper vending machine from a retiring operator for $2,371 and installed it near the entrance, right by the folding tables where people linger. Then he picked up 3 more machines and placed them in strategic locations. A nearby warehouse with 200 employees and no cafeteria, a quiet office lobby with captive waiting room traffic, and a car repair shop where customers waited for oil changes. Vending is painfully repetitive. You drive, you refill, you collect small bills, you track inventory, and you see the same totals week after week. But that's exactly why it works. By month 3 of the vending route, the 4 machines together brought in $1,960 profit monthly after product costs and fuel. By month 12, after he replaced low-selling items with high-margin protein bars and moved one underperforming machine from the quiet lobby to a busy 24-hour gym, the route cleared $2,413 monthly. The vending machine business maintains a 90% success rate when placed correctly, and the numbers can scale dramatically. One operator I tracked turned a $2,100 initial investment into an $8 million route spanning 300 locations over 15 years. The key is strategic placement and data-driven product selection. High-traffic locations with captive audiences turn these metal boxes into cash dispensers. A 12-year-old named Adrian turned $1,500 into a multi-location vending business by focusing exclusively on high schools and recreation centers, where foot traffic is guaranteed and competition is minimal. Self-storage scared Harry at first because the numbers were bigger and the debt felt riskier. But the psychology was undeniable and powerful. People don't like letting go of their stuff. Once boxes, furniture, or inventory go into a unit, they keep paying rent for months, sometimes years. Even when they tell themselves, "I'll clear it out next month," that month rarely comes. The self-storage industry calls this the sticky tenant phenomenon, and it's why facilities maintain 95% success rates in stable markets. Harry didn't jump straight into buying a big facility. Instead, he partnered smartly. He met a small contractor who owned a piece of land behind an industrial park. The contractor wanted to build storage, but hated operations and tenant management. Harry loved operations and had cash flow from the laundromat and vending route to fund his portion. They formed a simple split. Harry funded 31% of the $180,000 build cost and agreed to run all day-to-day operations, software, tenant screening, and marketing. The contractor contributed land and construction expertise, taking 69% equity but remaining passive. The first year, the mini storage facility lined up 24 units. By month 9, 18 units were filled at an average of $137 per month. Debt service and shared expenses chewed a lot of that gross revenue, but Harry's share came out to around $1,594 monthly once occupancy stabilized. Add that to the laundromat and vending route, and Harry's boring empire was now bringing in over $6,000 monthly after all costs. That finally beat his $3,419 logistics salary, and something clicked. He realized the business type mattered less than the pattern behind all 3. Small, repeat payments, services people feel they need, behavior that keeps them coming back automatically. Car washes represent pure leverage in its most basic form. You invest in equipment once, water systems, soap dispensers, brushes, vacuums, then let volume do the heavy lifting while you maintain and optimize. The upflip case studies Harry watched showed something fascinating. A basic 4-bay self-serve car wash can bring in $200,000 to $300,000 in annual revenue with modest staffing, and the land underneath often becomes the real wealth driver. Harry studied sale listings obsessively. He saw one small 4-bay wash listed at $316,000 with claimed net income around $73,000 annually. The important part isn't whether those specific numbers are perfect. It's seeing the pattern again. Simple service, low number of moving parts, $10 to $15 payments that slide under emotional radar. People pay without thinking hard and come back whenever their car looks dirty. One operator I researched bought a struggling wash for $280,000, added a monthly unlimited wash membership program, and increased revenue 40% in 18 months. He sold the business and land for $1.2 million 5 years later. The membership model transformed it from transactional to recurring revenue, the holy grail of boring businesses. Pest control and similar recurring services follow identical mathematics across every market. In almost every entrepreneur forum Harry read, there were detailed posts from owners of pest control, pool cleaning, lawn care, and mobile car detailing services. The theme was always the same. Customers sign up once for monthly service, they stay on a regular route for years, and revenue becomes highly predictable. Imagine one route of 82 homes, each paying $59 monthly for basic pest control. That's $4,838 in gross revenue monthly from one technician, one truck, and some chemicals. Add 2 more routes and you're at $175,000 plus annual revenue, with a multi-6-figure, very boring business that runs like clockwork. The economics get more attractive when you factor in route density. One pest control operator I studied built a 400-customer route in a 5-mile radius, reducing drive time and fuel costs by 60%. His net margin hit 38%, and he sold the business for $380,000 after 5 years. The new owner was buying cash flow, not just customers. Property management, not of skyscrapers or luxury towers, but of everyday rentals, represents the ultimate boring business. You're simply the bridge between everyday landlords and everyday tenants. Collecting rents, arranging repairs, handling move-ins and move-outs, dealing with the headaches most landlords gladly outsource. A solo property manager with 50 doors under management at an average fee of $91 per door monthly brings in $4,550 gross fees. Scale that to 150 doors with a small team, and you're suddenly at $163,800 annual revenue, handling tasks that make most landlords pull their hair out. The beauty of property management is the low overhead. One manager I tracked hit 1.3 million net worth in 7 years managing 200 doors while working 30 hours weekly. He built systems for tenant screening, maintenance dispatch, and rent collection that ran without him. Then he started acquiring his own rental properties using the management income, creating a wealth flywheel. Harry didn't build all 6 businesses at once. That would have been suicide by complexity. He focused on 3: laundromat, vending, storage. But these 6 categories showed him the real lesson that most entrepreneurs miss entirely. You don't need a brilliant idea that changes the world. You need a boring one that survives economic downturns, pandemics, and market shifts. The 3 filters Harry discovered Separate wealth builders from wishful thinkers, and they're worth writing down. Filter 1. Customers pay you at least once monthly without needing to be chased, reminded, or marketed to constantly. Laundry, storage, pest control, property management, vending in the right locations. They tie into existing habits and needs. Clothes get dirty every week. Houses collect bugs every season. Tenants stay for years. This creates automatic recurring revenue that doesn't require ad spend or viral marketing. Filter 2. Each customer decision is low drama and low consideration. No family meetings to decide on a $12 car wash or $1.79 soda. The price is small enough to slide completely under emotional radar. This makes your income more stable than businesses selling high-ticket items with long sales cycles. Filter 3. Over time, you can own or control the asset underneath the cash flow. The washers and dryers, the storage units and land, the car wash bays, the vending machines and routes, the management contracts. This is what flips the equation from self-employment to asset ownership. You're not just buying a job, you're buying something someone else will pay more for later. From there, the numbers did the talking and the heavy lifting. At 32, Harry's net worth was maybe $5,000 if you counted the hatchback equity. By 38, after 6 years of focused, boring, unsexy moves, the picture looked completely different. He still wore the same type of jeans. He still drove a practical used car. But the laundromat loan was nearly paid down, and a new valuation put that business at around $341,000, based on 3.5 times annual cash flow. His share of the storage facility, after accounting for debt, was worth about $27,000 and growing. The vending route, valued at the common 24 to 30 times monthly profit multiple, could likely fetch around $89,000 in a sale. Combined with retained earnings that he mostly plowed into index funds and a simple home he bought for $180,000, his net worth crossed the $1 million mark at 38 years old. The month-by-month progression tells the real story. Year 1, $1,317 monthly from laundry, $0 from vending, $0 from storage. Total monthly, $1,317. Year 2, $2,800 from laundry, $2,413 from vending, $0 from storage. Total monthly, $5,213. Year 3, $3,100 from laundry, $2,600 from vending, $1,594 from storage. Total monthly, $7,294. By year 6, with loan payoffs and optimization, he was clearing $8,500 monthly from the 3 businesses, while his logistics job stayed at $3,419. The crossover point happened in month 22, but the psychological shift happened much earlier. Once he proved he could make money without more hours, everything changed. No single year felt explosive. There was no viral moment, no TechCrunch feature, no celebratory LinkedIn post, just slow, steady, compounding growth from assets people barely notice when they drive by. The psychology behind why 93% of entrepreneurs never do this is more fascinating than the businesses themselves. Our brains are wired for novelty and social validation. We want the exciting story, the clever angle, the disruptive innovation we can brag about at dinner parties. Boring feels like failure before you even start. It feels like settling, but data doesn't care about feelings or ego. The Bureau of Labor Statistics shows 65.3% of businesses fail within 10 years. Yet these boring categories maintain 85 to 95% survival rate. The math is brutally clear. The psychology is the only problem. The acquisition strategies for these businesses have evolved dramatically in 2024 to 2025. On-market deals face fierce competition and inflated valuation, while thousands of quality businesses remain off radar. Their owners are uncertain about timing, wary of public processes, but increasingly open to the right conversation. The winners aren't those with the deepest pockets. They're the ones with access to proprietary deal flow and the patience to build relationships. Harry found his laundromat through a simple letter campaign. He identified 20 laundromats within 30 minutes of his apartment, researched the owners through county records, and sent handwritten letters saying, "I'm a local buyer interested in acquiring a laundromat like yours. I'd love to have a confidential conversation if you're open to it." 3 owners responded. 1 was ready to sell. That letter cost him $20 in postage and made him $341,000 over 6 years. The financing structures are more creative than most people realize. Seller financing is common because these owners want out, not necessarily maximum price. They'll carry 70 to 80% of the purchase price at 6 to 8% interest over 5 to 7 years if you can put down 20 to 30% and show you understand the business. Banks love these deals too, especially with SBA backing, because the cash flow is predictable and the failure rates are low. One buyer I studied acquired a $450,000 car wash with $45,000 down, seller financing of $315,000, and an SBA loan for the remaining $90,000. He was cash flow positive month 1. So what does this mean for you, sitting there thinking about your next move? First, you don't have to start all the way at ownership. That's a mental block that stops most people. You can step into this world gradually, starting with research and relationship building. Spend one quiet afternoon each week searching for real, boring businesses for sale in your area, not online dropshipping stores, physical or service businesses with years of history and verifiable tax returns. Look at laundromats, vending routes, small storage lots, pest control routes, car washes, property management firms. Filter every single listing through Harry's 3 questions.